Hey everyone, I'm Will. Thanks again for your continued support of the channel. Remember to like and subscribe. It takes 2 seconds and it helps out so much more than you can possibly imagine. This week we're going to be talking about one of the internet's most divisive topics. We're going to be talking about Zack Snyder. Obviously, Snyder has drawn a lot of attention over the last few years for his works with Warner Brothers Pictures, specifically with DC's film adaptations of some of their most sought-after properties. In 2013, Zack directed the reboot of the Superman franchise, Man of Steel, where soon after it was announced that this would be the launch pad for DC's shared cinematic universe, now known as the DC Extended Universe, which Zack would also helm. This was met with hesitation. While not a failure by any stretch of the imagination, this was not the strong start out of the gate that many had hoped would be the beginning of DC's shared continuity. In particular, many had issues with Zack's interpretation of Superman, whom they felt was bleak and hopeless. His vision didn't adhere to the traditional and accepted standards for the character, and was therefore deemed unacceptable to be the mainline continuity for the films. Opinions did not improve when it was announced that Ben Affleck would be taking on the mantle of Batman in Snyder's follow-up, 2016's Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Affleck was the oldest actor to take on the role, and it seemed that his interpretation would be based on Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, in which Batman is taken to alcohol and self-destruction while waging his one-man crusade. These speculations ended up coming true when the film was released. Once again, fans were treated to a version of these characters that was against what they believed were the correct interpretation. Obviously, Warner Brothers' shaking confidence with the franchise led us to the now infamous release of 2017's Justice League. During production of the film, Zack was forced to step away due to a personal tragedy when it was announced that Joss Whedon would be stepping in to, quote, finish Zack's vision. Obviously, this is not the whole truth, as we are now mere days away from the release of the eponymous Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO Max. But before we delve into what we might expect from his cut of the film, it may be beneficial to look forward at the director's upcoming projects, specifically a long-rumored passion project of Snyder's, a film adaptation of Ayn Rand's The Fountainhead. So for those of you who haven't read The Fountainhead, which I assume is most people, I would like to briefly detail the plot of the novel. The Fountainhead is told primarily from the perspective of two architects, Howard Roark and Peter Keating. Roark is an individualist who believes that art is beholden to no one but the artist. His notions of what the public deserves upsets many in his profession, and he is labeled an outcast for it. Keating, on the other hand, is a golden goose, who after spending years turning in the exact work that is expected of him, lands a job at a prolific firm. The novel follows their respective careers, where Keating succeeds both critically and financially, but feels like he's a fraud artistically. Roark works sporadically, but his distinct visual style is instantly recognizable and has made him the subject of much debate. This culminates in Keating being hired to design the Cortlandt housing projects, a commission that every architect in the city has been vying for. Having the ear of Ellsworth Toohey, a prolific critic whom the public relies on to form their opinions, Keating lands the project despite knowing that he has nothing to say.
Everything I built was stolen from you and men like you who lived before we were born. I've never had an idea of my own.
In order to save face, Keating subcontracts Roark to do the actual design, but asks that he maintain full credit. Roark agrees so long as Keating promises to not deviate from his designs in the slightest. After Roark steps away for some personal time, Keating buckles to outside pressure and changes the design to fit styles people are more comfortable with. Roark discovers the betrayal and blows up the project in order to prevent his body of work from being sullied. There are more characters, obviously, who serve specific roles in Roark's journey. There's an old architect who, his style's sort of fallen out of the zeitgeist, who gives Roark his start. There's an alcoholic sculptor who is embittered by years of being called a failure, whom Roark gives an opportunity, only to end up driving that man deeper and deeper into despair. And there's a respected member of the press who goes to bat again and again for Roark despite great personal cost to his own reputation.
Will's Journal, March 2021. The house of glass has come crashing down around me. It seems that by merely noticing the stone, I've cast it. Life's imitation of art has become too real to be a coincidence, and it seems that no one else but me is willing to pull at the thread lest they find themselves naked.
You always do this. You make a huge deal out of something that no one else cares about because it's probably in your head.
It's not in my head. Okay, you'll see. When the Fountainhead comes out, you'll all see.
Mr. Jonas, we love your submission about the parallels between Snyder's body of work and the Fountainhead, but it seems a little dark. Our readers may find it inaccessible. We have some edits we'd like you to make to help lighten the tone.
No edits will be made to my work.
That's not how business is done. Either you make the edits or we will. Either way, the piece runs tomorrow morning.
I'm the architect.
What?
Will, I can't believe what you've done. You took every one of my notes, and your article is a huge hit. What a pleasure it's been working with you.
The pleasure was all mine.